Welcome back to another onlinedrummer.com drum lesson. I'm Nate Brown, and this is a series of Monday drum lessons that I'm doing called the Monday Drum Lessons. For this drum lesson, you'll need the sheet music called Keep This Quiet. You can get that at onlinedrummer.com. This lesson goes over a technique of playing quietly. And what I've noticed is a lot of times today's drummers that sit down at a kit and just wail on it and play all it really loud, dynamic, and in your face. But when you quiet it down, it really makes people listen. It grabs people's attention. And I think it's because instead of forcing your rhythms into their ears, they're actively listening. So they're participating in your rhythm almost by actively listening. To show you what I mean and to get you started, I created a foundational drum beat here that sounds good played quietly. Now it also sounds good when you're hitting the drums hard, but I want you to hear the difference between the two. I'm going to play it loudly first, and then I'm going to play the quiet version. Now both of those ways sound cool, played loudly and played quietly, but you can hear the difference in what it does to the listener when you chill out a little bit and just play a quiet groove. I'm going to go over the counting of this foundational groove. Right stick is on the low tom, or the rim of the low tom, and the left stick is playing a rim knock. And with the rim knock, you put your stick on the rim and on the drum head, and the butt of the stick should be forward. You're actually going to put your hand on the head and just knock it against the rim. Now where you put your stick, it's going to change the sound. There's a sweet spot on the stick. So find that sweet spot. 1 and 2 E. Now that's accented, but again, since we're playing quietly, it's just going to stick out a little bit. 1 and 2 E. E and 4 and 1. So let me go over that slower. 1 and 2 E and 3 E and 4 and The second measure is the same, except on the and of 3, there's a second 16th note on the bass drum. So I'll play the second measure. 1 and 2 E and 3 E and 4 and Of course, you put it together, you get. Now, of course, I'm not going to stop there, and I included some drum beat variations and additions. So number 1 puts the 1 and on the actual head of the floor tom rather than the rim, and that just provides a little layered effect, layered sound. Now, of course, you want to play the low tom quietly too. If it stands out, it's not going to be right. So find a volume or dynamic that fits. Another thing that's fun to do with number 1 is instead of hitting the floor tom on 1 and for both measures, you create a 2-measure repeating feel by only hitting it on the 1, say for measure 1, and then the 1 and for measure 2. Variation number 2 adds a ghost stroke echo effect is what I call it. So after a stick, after a rim knock, you hit another rim knock on the 16th, but ghosted. Like that. 1 and 8. 4 E and 4 E and That can be hard to do. So if you're at a beginner, intermediate level and you're not ready to do that, don't get discouraged and throw the sheet music away. Just keep it out and go on to number 3. You can still have fun with the rhythm without that ghost stroke in there. So let me play number 2 for you. Number 3 adds 4 E and. So instead of just 4 and, you're going to have 4 E and that just, again, provides a little more layer to it. And of course, you can always add to it. The hi-hat's just sitting there. You can play eighth notes, you can play quarter notes, whatever. And with the right stick on that 4E and, you can even switch it to something like a ride cymbal. Might be tough. I haven't tried that. Let me try it. Missed that one. Maybe every other one. Missed the tom. Now ride. Ride. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. You can check out more lessons on onlinedrummer.com. Alex Ribchester's doing a Wednesday lesson, so make sure you check that out. And check my lesson out next Monday. Keep drumming.